Hey, Professor Elliott. Sorry my voice sounds like this. My allergies are through the roof. Um, to start, 5 communication skills that I feel like come easy to me would be number one, I don't easily minimize people's feelings. From the list, it was just kind of giving an example like, whenever someone says something, don't reframe it to make it seem like you're minimizing the situation. I feel like I don't easily do that. If anything, I can tend to um, maximize that, I guess. Another thing that comes easy to me is I don't feel like I have poor attending skills. And so I feel like I'm very engaged with someone whenever I'm talking to them, especially if it's something emotional. Um, Eye contact comes easy for me. Um, Affirming them comes easy to me. Another thing would be ignoring cues um, that are subjective to them. So the example was like um, asking how much they made last year whenever they're crying. I feel like that wouldn't really um, be something that I would do. I feel like I'm a very intuitive person whenever it comes to other people. I really read into people's feelings. That comes naturally to me. And so I feel like I would be pretty quick to read the social cues, I guess. That would come easy for me. Um, Another thing that would come easy would be to not use inappropriate use of humor. Um, don't get me wrong, I like laughing and everything, but I can definitely be one to um, be hyper aware or hypersensitive to people whenever they do make comments that are meant to be funny, but in an inappropriate context. And so I don't feel like I would do that easily. And then I also don't think I would have judgmental responses just because I am super aware of what I say, just from my personality, but also I just am hyper aware of how I can make other people feel, which can sometimes be too much. And so with that, 5 communication skills that would be difficult for me would be fidgeting. I really struggle with picking at my eyebrows or using my hands or just like picking at my clothes. So I do need to get better at that. Another thing would be I would probably struggle with taking sides with the client. I can tend to easily empathize with somebody, and that can come across as me taking someone's side. I'm a people pleaser, and so I want people to think that I am for them, and I am for them. But I think that, like it said in the book, you don't need to be just taking sides with somebody because that's not always the most helpful thing to do. I could also tend to want to rescue people and kind of implement my own personal advice into things. And so I think that would be something I would struggle with because I would just want to go in and save them, but my way obviously isn't always the best way. Um, Excessive reassurance is hard for me. I tend to, again, I want to be able, whenever I'm talking to someone, I excessively nod or I excessively say, right, right. And so that can kind of get annoying. And goes with that use of repetitive words. My public speaking class has known this, and like I just said it, I say or I say like a lot, and so I'm kind of working on that. And then going to the second part of the journal, The Color Purple, with the character of Sally, if she was my client, she is as in socioeconomic class, she is poor. She is African American. She is a woman, especially back then whenever she was living, she was probably um, the lowest on the totem pole in regards to what rights she had. Um, and so if she was my client today, obviously her story is very heartbreaking. And so I think that if she came to me today but if she did have the rights that she would today, if she was able to come to me, 2 reflective statements that I would say would be, it sounds like you're feeling trapped. If she was to talk about how her life and what she was feeling, I would affirm her and say, okay, it sounds like you're feeling trapped, and so you're feeling overwhelmed, which I don't know. I had a hard time coming up with these because I feel like reflective statements would be, maybe they would come easily in the moment, but right now I'm like, I don't want to minimize her situation because her situation is extremely sad, and I don't want to be like, okay, so you're feeling sad because obviously you're feeling sad. And then some open-ended questions that I came up with was, what are some things you feel like you can do to feel more in control of your life? And then that would kind of lead into me encouraging her to pursue those things. And then another one would be, what are some ways that alleviate stress for you? And so as she's going through these things, as she's processing all this trauma that she's had, her to verbalize things that make her feel more in control, more happier, less stressed, and that would kind of lead into me encouraging her to do those things. So hopefully that made sense. Thank you so much. Have a great week.